Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a sound check going first, as we kind of messed up the sound last night, didn't we? We ruined it on the other stream we did. Let's just get your opinion on where we are with audio today. We've had a microphone adjustment. Let's just have a quick review what we've got to do while we're just talking it through. There we go. I've just got to kill that audio. We don't want double audio, do we? That wouldn't be fair. Oh, I need to find something else as well. Always good to be prepared when you make this. Do like a good smooth start. Nice and orderly, nice and professional at the start of the stream, don't we? So, what are we doing today? Mazda 3 GR4s. That can only be Alsace, couldn't it? Or Alsace, if we're talking the correct way. So, we have not tried this at all. We haven't tried it a single bean. It's at the track I'd probably hate second the most. The first one being Willow Springs, this one being, well, I only hate Willow Springs because it's so technical, so difficult. This one, Willow Springs is real, so that gets a vote. But this one, fantasy track, absolute, oh yeah, anyway. Salmon Test Monkey at the top with 47 229s. We've got a good number of good guys in here. Mr. Red, BBR Ian, Mr. Maguire, always good to see him in the top 10. NW. Evening, Aaron. No PSN chat. No, not. We're going to give me half an hour so you don't mess me head up. Big Popper in 10. Happy days. The 28 Ego pushing the top, just outside the top 10. Mr. Dub, well, we know that's Mr. Maguire's second account, don't we? So he's pushing hard. NW's second account, aka the Giant, is Sam's mate. Sam all the way at the top here. So he's got fast friends as Sam. Rapid, always quick. What have we got done? Az just come on the channel. He's come on the chat. He's there in 21st, pushing strong. Mr. Wedley just out of hospital. Hope you're getting well, John. Ollie, not a slow fella from Germany. He's fast Ollie from Germany. Who Flung Poo, probably the greatest name in the game. Scampy. Hard at work, Scampy's found time to play the game. And as we get further down the list, there's some good names there. Stefan. Is he just outside the gold? But look at this list. Uncle June's there as well. Uncle June, well done. No name, absolutely missing the second best name. Well, the best no name on a 155. Look at how many people are in this list. 79 people with Itchy right down the bottom there. Ah, Mr. Boss Dark Wood. He's down there as well, giving it a shot. We can all still got time. Storm Chaser's down there as well. Can't be hidden. However, gold is what? A 48,374. What do we have to get? A 48,374. So 36th place gets a gold. 36th place. That's what we've got to try and beat. This is a bot challenge, but as we learned a couple of missions ago, a couple of trials ago, you can change the wheels, you can change the aero, I believe. It's a GR4 car. You could probably change the wheels, maybe. Don't know. Could you? Don't know. Could you change parts on the engine? Would it have an effect? Don't know. We're just going to give it a shot, though. This is the test track, isn't it? I have watched Sam's video, so I've got a good idea of where we're going. Let's give it a start. And then we will crank up the chat in a little while. Oh, Oh, we haven't done the usual stuff. Settings. Have we? Assist, traction control 1, default ABS. We're going to turn them off. It's four-wheel drive, isn't it? Going to turn them off. So we're just going with traction control and ABS at this time. And controller settings, force feedback. Oh, controller steering sensitivity 5, force feedback max torque 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. We did change those for the Nürburgring. Not 100% sure where we're going with this, don't know. That feels like a second gear corner. Let's see what we've got to do. Got to be smooth round here, I'm guessing. That's a bit high. Haven't really got any sort of clue what we're doing to get into this corner here. Oh, it flicked us off the curb there. That was tragic. Probably braked a bit late for that corner then. Oh, we're a little bit far out. Couple of seconds. It didn't want to grip into that corner at all. Didn't half throw me off that apex, didn't it? Ghost is 0.9 ahead. Oh, we shot that far too wide, didn't we? How do we stop that shooting us out and wide then? What do we got to do there? That's the question. Got to brake much later for that corner. Got to run it deeper and turn it in later, haven't we? See if we can take a wider line in. Sam's video looked so smooth when he did the fastest lap. When he did his fast lap, looked so smooth. Feel I've got to be off the gas coming over that crest. Catching the Ghost a wee bit, just got turn one wrong. Just a couple of laps to get the eyes in, that's all we need, really. Short shifted through there just a wee bit. 48.8885. Now the reason we've got to do this tonight is we're going on vacation in the morning. I think I can straighten that line up a bit. So I'm away until the, well, not the weekend, I'm back Friday, but we're going to miss the deadline for this one if I don't do it today. See if we can get this braking right into here. 10th down. Straight line this a little bit. Nice one, Hugh. A 47.8. I feel I've got to leave it in the higher gear through that corner. I was just on the gas a wee fraction too early then. Excuse me, folks. Just braking a little bit too much through there. And I need to straighten that line up a wee bit. To roll in there in third, then brake down at second without spinning it out wide. Got to keep it tight. Third for the last corner. Feels way too slow coming out of it. Is it the right gear to come out of? Well, I'm catching. We'll have to try that. Try not to drop below 4 from the bank corner. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's much quicker, isn't it? Oh, I pulled off the brake then. Should have left it on. Well, that's going to push us down into the 7s, 8s. Okay. We'll see if we can hold it in 4th then. Probably brake just a wee bit too hard. Yeah, probably just have to delay that acceleration just a wee bit. Just want to brake just a smidgen earlier. And I pulled off the brake again. Yeah, that's a frustration. I'm sponging the brakes and I shouldn't be doing that. Let's take a nice wide line on the entry. commit to this braking point. And I need to find point 1 now, do I? Point 1, call it point 2. Not as quick this time round. There's a lot of cars like that though, isn't there? If we think about the Nürburgring, the Civic, it accelerated so much better in the next higher gear. It took me a long time to believe that, and I did doubt the words of the master we know as Sam, but he told me very early on to do that, and I just couldn't find the power. I couldn't feel it. Oh, just washed out on the brakes there. You see that? I stamped on them too hard. There's got to be a level of changing down and then braking. But 48.6, 12 laps in, that's okay. Just got to stop that suspension bottoming out there and kicking me off. Six. See if we can find a smooth way through here. I just had to back up the throttle there as I felt it heading towards the barriers. Oh, we've washed out again. Just a smidgen too quick going into that slope. The speed just carried us away from the apex. Really got to sponge the brakes in. Sponge is probably the wrong expression there. You've got to just feather the brakes off. 48.3 something, isn't it? Was it 48? I can't remember. My brain's dead. Oh, it just worked away again. We'll be going to Interlagos if we get this fairly soon, but I need to beat it by a good 2/10, I think, to give us any sort of chance of getting gold whilst we're away. I won't get a chance to respond to this before Thursday morning, sorry. Pull it in tight, don't head towards the barrier. We've got it this time, there we go. There we go. Now we've got to just get this correct. Going up the hill. Kinda lost it a little bit on the turning. Didn't get that right. Changing down to second, lengthened the braking, didn't it? Hey ho, we'll get it. A little after the bridge. Not 100% sure what you mean there. A bit after the bridge where you go fourth. In fourth to third, so you go fourth to third, okay. we were gaining there, but we weren't ahead, so we just need to measure that. That's a better line, much better. Try and take the hill. Now we're going to break this down to third only here. Now that's beaten that by 2/10. That should be gold. Now we've got to go 2/10 past it. Great little tip there, Hugh. Thank you. This could be the challenge though. But I remember sitting at the ring saying, how the hell can I go 7 seconds quicker than that? Well, with this one, it's four-wheel drive, isn't it? So we know what comes next, and we're going to turn traction control off. We don't like doing it, thank you, Hugh, but we like to demonstrate to people that you can get gold with some helps. You don't have to go out on a limb and be 100% committed to no helps. Come on, come back in, you swine. There's an improvement. See if we can get a 47, that'll be nice. Taking a bit high line there. 10th down. Ooh, that was a bit quick. Isn't it four-wheel drive? Oh, okay. I thought this was the Atenza road car. No, it's the Atenza GR4. It's not the Atenza. Is it? I don't know. I just jumped on. We're going to go and have a look anyway. Let's see where we are. It's four-wheel drive. That's where I might be the one with the boot. This is the hatchback, isn't it? 28 miles, we got gold and a 3-star ticket. How's about that? Real good appreciation from the Gran Turismo. A potential 48.01 at this point. So we probably hit the fastest lap, probably on the lap where we did it, look. 48.194. Where did we get that? Yeah, we actually did the best 2 laps as we got at the end. So running laps is... This is the Mazda 3, not the Atenza GR4. Yeah, you're right. Look at that. 10,000. Holy Chipotle. 2.61%. Where's that put us on the friends list? Right down the list, look. Oh, my lordy. I didn't realise it'd be that far down. Christ, just above Hoogle and Boo and below Faster Ollie. So we've got a long way to go to make ourselves somewhat representative look. We're a whole second behind Samikins. I saw it from the old traction controls going off, isn't it? I need to approve my main account, which you have. Improve. Improve. Which one's your main account then, dude? 47.8 you said. So on your alternative account, I've only got two 47 hours. That Mr. Maguire and Mr. Zinus. Which one's you, Hugh? And why aren't you on my list? Well, there's Neil. I know you're not him. Big Popper I've got to beat. Which one is it? Is that Zinus? Is that you then? Oh, a worst time. Oh, I see. That one. Yes, that's the one I thought it was. So I'm just behind you still. Okay, happy days. Settings, traction control, off. Should we see how it goes? Can't get any worse. What? What could go wrong? I can't think of anything that would go wrong. As the great saying goes, Dr. Pepper, what's the worst that can happen? No loaded ghost, which is a frustration. Front end slides a bit, done it without the TC. Look at that spin up without the TC. Look at that. No, that's so true, but if you're playing two accounts, $48,555 red. Front end just out brakes itself, doesn't it? That's shocking. Traction control shouldn't have that much effect on braking. It really shouldn't. Why isn't my ghost working? Ghost is a frustration. I'm pretty sure you will be. Really find these ghosts really quite a pain in the ass. Sometimes you have to go all the way out to get the ghost to work again, which is just not how it should be. Let's hope with the update 1.40 that somebody actually fixes that. No, they won't. If anybody's watched my latest video, the one that came out about a couple of hours ago, you will notice there's a huge chunk of sarcasm and disappointment and apprehension that this big update won't be as big an update. Just find it frustrating that there's so many voices shouting that there is. A Tenza GR4, that's the one I was thinking, 4-wheel drive. It's about 180 kilogram heavier. That's the one I thought we were driving. But I guess that one there has got to be the quicker one, I guess. And that's the one we got. And this is the, yeah, absolutely, Hugh. Absolutely. Shall I check the old chat room up? I could set the old chat room up. That means I have to listen with one dodgy ear. Set the ghosts up. Come on, ghosts. Display loaded ghost. Load the ghost. That one. Okay, good. Start. No, you're doing all right with the dodgy downshift. I say I'm doing all right at my age. Can't blame downshifts. Let's see if we can rack some decent entry speed. And there's the ghost. Had to exit out all the way out to get it to work correctly. He got a better run out, didn't he? You're only 8 weeks ahead of me, pal. I think it's 7 weeks now until my big 5-0. We've got to go to Interlagos in a minute. Now that blue time there will be against my last lap, not against the ghost. See it, look at it kick it away. Then it just spins up. I guess I'm going to have to go third gear up the hill. And not around the corner. Oh, that was the dreaded time, wasn't it, from the Nürburgring? A 48.881. I'm going to see that in my sleep now forever, aren't I? I think we might be alright with the time we've got, you know. I might not need any more. Ah, right, so you're a good 10 months older than me then. No drama then, if you've got that one on the age stakes, definitely then. And the dodgy gear shift. Going too slow then, I needed to be quicker coming into that. catching on the output there. We're going quicker. The throttle control thing coming up there, Nick. That's quicker. Wide line and swing it in. Yeah, I was cutting the line to try and shorten the distance to the finish. As with all these tests, a lot of it is about being smooth and just being accurate, isn't it? Getting used to the speed of the car. Getting used to how it rolls and how it turns in and how it pushes on. Need to change down to fourth only. I double clicked to third there, don't know why, brain took over. Or finger did it, not brain, should I say. Level of smoothness required. I think that's going to get me the gold though, and guarantee that by Thursday, I'd hope. But 47, I think we'll definitely do it. So if we can push on for another 0.125, that would be happy. $1,400s up there. We're just losing it at that point. A little short shift there, lost us a little bit of time. We spun that up in second, which didn't help. We tried a wee bit different line coming through the chicane there. And the Ghost was much quicker there, wasn't it? Rather than dipping down and cutting the apex, we just tried to That didn't work the second time. Just gonna call that for a minute. 48015. Up into the 8,000s. Jeebus. Az and Hugh, you're next on the list. Is it going to upload with that one? Let's see. To the right. Let's swing it into the right on the bank curve. Okay. No ghost again. I'm gonna have to kick out and reload. Had a couple of messages asking if I'd support 20 or 24 car grids in Gran Turismo, whether I think that'll happen. I don't think so, not with PlayStation 4 still being involved in the game. I think we'd be at sort of max chat for the PlayStation 4. Could probably push it to 18 or 20, but to go beyond that probably wouldn't really survive. See how we go. Come on, Ghost. There we go. I had to lift just a microcosm there as I went up that curve. Now break myself there. All right, Big Steve, mid-90s. I struggle to look down and see that. I don't ever really watch the mile per hour gauge, but I guess I'll have to. Trying to get the damn thing to stay in on that corner. Oh. Hang on. Try and stay in the mid 90 mile per hour range on the big sweeper. Number 2, new sentence. You must let your left side tyres on the curbing of the left hander at the top of the hill. You must let your left hand tyres, I guess that means rub on the curbing on the left hand side. Okay. There's Steve. Front end spun up in second. I should have been in third. That was a rookie mistake. That's just the PB for this session. I look down at the speedo and I lose pace of where I am on the track. I lose my positioning. That's a skill I've got to develop, isn't it? Being able to look somewhere other than the track. Much better coming out of there in third. Much better. Just outside my PB. And that's a no traction PB as well, isn't it? Oh, new line, number 3. On the fastest line is the right side at the start finish. That's all for now. Watching a good. Cheers, pal. Well, that's 2 opposing sets of information. Swing out left and swing it right, and then the fastest line's on the right hand side. Yeah, happy days. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have pressed retry. I should have said continue. Thanks, Steve. I thought the fastest line on the complete lap was to run it in from wide here and then finish straight, because you get a better cut in. Should have been on the gas much earlier there. And then if you, on a lap, finish tighter. But hey ho. Yeah, it's getting there. Go and change that ghost. top 2.25. We're going to have to go all the way out just to make the ghost load up again. But you know that, don't you? I'm not boring you to death by telling you that. You're not making it out to be crazy or anything for me doing that every time. I'm enjoying these time trials at the minute. Look, lots of golds. Those 3 all paid out today. Yeah, we're 0.3 inside the gold now. That should be enough, shouldn't it? 46,996. Holy hell. That is so quick. Almost missed it, Steve. We've already done it. We've already done top 5,250. It's not so bad, is it? Still not anywhere near my top 10. Nowhere near the big popper. But we're up above ours now. Under 17 second split is where you want to be at the split. Cheers, mate. I kind of guessed from what people were saying about this time trial is that it was relatively easy to get in and get the gold. The challenge was to get faster. If you've got anything about you, you can just go and slap it in. But look, somebody's done it with the GTR there. That's a decent time, rapid. That's pretty rapid, one would say. But I think to push on, I think I need to push on a little bit. I think I need to prove myself. So let's get the fastest ghost loaded up. This one. Let's crack on. Under 17 seconds at the first split. Okay, well, I've never looked at the first split time. I've no idea. Kind of nailed that then, haven't we? Felt the front wheels bounce through there as I put my foot on the throttle. Oh, how about that bad boy? I messed this lap up by cutting the old, I know what I did wrong. Changing down to third in the first corner, that was my problem. Oh, got a much better run out that final corner just then, much better run. But I've done everything I want to do here now. I've got a good enough time, I think, to keep the gold. I did want to prove myself a little bit. I did want to try and go out there and set it a time and get up the friends list. But I feel we need to give Interlagos a bit of a bash. Maybe set up for next week, which will be the right thing to do. But that's a great lap straight out the back. Look, 47.908. That's going to jump us right up the list a wee bit. Look what a little bit of coaching does from the Grandmaster Steve. Hugh got me to one level, and then Big Steve comes in. A very well decorated autocrosser, one should say. Big announcement, big cheers for Steve. Give Steve a big applause, please, folks. He has just been crowned champion of his autocross league this year. Actual real-life autocrossing. Well done, Steve. He won it by a big margin as well, I think, looking at the points list. He won 2 events, another guy won 2 events, but then Steve put better effort in the early part of the season. So well done, mate. It's a good effort. I want to see your trophy when you get it. Big photo. It'll be a massive thing with the bald eagle stuck on it, won't you? Won't it? Just didn't get my foot on the throttle quick enough there. I felt it. I pulsed it. I tried to do that throttle thing that everybody says you need to do. Oh, I missed the apex there. Right, I'm not gonna really put much more effort into that. 47,896 potential. Now he says. There is faster to do, isn't there? That puts me in almost 2% bracket. Almost top 10. Almost. I'm just behind Big Steve. You know, I've got to do it. I can't not, can I? I can't. I've got to try and get my own top 10. I have got to try and get my own top 10. Even though if it means knocking Autocross Champion out the list, doesn't it? I've got to do it. That was my mean laugh. Oh, been doing. That's not bad. An hour. Almost to get into my top 10. That's not bad at all, is it? Oh, wrong one. Can we still go in there? No, we can't enter that anymore. No, it's ended, yeah. We're going to go to Interlagos very shortly. Just need to do a couple more laps on this one. Now I've got a feel for where we're at. Yeah, look at that. I just got to pop that into a 47 with an 8 on it would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can do that. No more tip. That's true, actually. I probably should back off, shouldn't I? And not beat the master, the sensei. Mid-4s? Oh. Mid-4s, I don't know. I've got to get this kind of right. Oh, let the curb go. That kind of didn't hook in there, did it? Well, with the Mercedes one at Interlagos, we've got the whole of next weekend to really get somewhere near that. Look at that, 48.2 straight off the bat. That would have been gold first lap out, wouldn't it? It's amazing how you can do that. Once you start off quite a bit behind the game and then you suddenly develop that, yeah, I've got to hook that tyre, haven't I? Definitely got to hook that tyre. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, even though this is my own soapbox. I've done many 1,000 laps at Interlagos, having done F1 99 back in the day. Some of you guys won't even seen F1 99, you wouldn't know what it was in terms of a racing game, but there used to be lap time challenges back then, which I used to have a pop at and a dig at. And it's been a while since Interlagos has had its own lap time trial here. Oh, I missed it just there, didn't I? I'm talking too much, I think. Yeah, quick downshifts. Oh, we ran that far too wide, didn't we? Right, we're going to run out wide this time. And we're going to take a dive in. I didn't touch the brake enough at the start then. I think it's really bizarre that you're a tenth ahead and then all of a sudden you're a tenth down. Yeah, I used to do it on the PC as. I say the PC, it was many moons ago. They were 386s back then. Maybe even a 486. Not a Pentium 1 though, I'm pretty sure about that. I'm not getting the line right into turn 1. I'm ending up dipping down way too early. Hooked that mother then, didn't we? Didn't gain anything down the back straight though. Let it roll a little bit, don't use second. Oh, we rolled it way too far early. Came off the old, went on the throttle far too early. Now, I'm not enjoying this rolling now. Finding this a little bit tedious and frustrating. Let's see if we can adjust the attitude a little bit and try and get us back positive. Not going to think about Interlagos too much. That's where you need to hit the gas. Look at that, we're gaining on the Ghost, that's the way. There was no change to second there, so I'm going to change to second next time round. Manic Miner on the ZX81. Now, there's a different breed of people there. You know, this whole Xbox PlayStation thing, that started a long time ago. A long time ago. So you were a ZX Spectrum kind of guy. I was a BBC stroke Acorn Electron kind of guy. So, you guys had the first sort of console-y kind of machine, the ZX81. Even that had a keyboard and you could do all the programming, etc. That's where the real console started. I think the BBC was where the PC sort of thing started. And with that, you can trace back the history of the two sorts of gaming factions, Xbox versus PlayStation, back to them days. It started very young in us, although my first personal computer was the Commodore VIC-20. Oh, we went well red there, didn't we? I was put off by the fact that we had a decent lap time, but my blue time was against. Well, I'm against the red now. Look at that. That's shockingly bad. Let's keep this. Come on. BBC was brilliant. The BBC and the Acorn Electron was the first computer I played a Formula One game on, and it was called Microprose Formula One. It came on 7 discs, and those 7 discs made the most blocky Formula One game you could ever imagine. But it was also the first game that I modded, because you could mod the code and you could make the F1 cars get damaged, you could break them apart. And the F1 cars back in the day, you could actually customize the name, which was fabulous. So I well, they actually had a series of joke names amongst the drivers, and one of them I remember was Willie Spinnett. Oh, battery's going low on my DualSense controller. Just so everybody knows, came up in the top right hand corner. That really shouldn't be streamable, that information. That just shows our bad battery management. I must admit, it's been off its cradle all day. Yeah, the BBC-B, really good machine back in the day. And the Acorn Electron was like half a BBC-B, but it was half the size because it was developed by Acorn. And Acorn brought that as the home computer. It came with a tape deck, and that tape deck did all the noises you could think of. That was the first machine we had that had like a phone connection. It was absolutely horrible. You plugged your telephone into it, you dropped your handset down onto it. 994. We dropped to the 89s there, that wasn't good. But that was the first game, that was the first console that I really typed my own games in and learnt software coding back in, oh, I'd say that was like 82, 83. If you can go back that far. I remember buying games on tape. And where you say Manic Miner, I think I bought Jet Set Willy on a tape. And sometimes it wouldn't load, so you'd have to rewind the tape. And when the tape was playing, you could actually hear the code going into the PC. It was like your typical fax transmission that you get if you pick up a handset now and you hear a fax transmission. That's exactly what you hear. Oh. I remember at primary school being on a radio, as being on the radio. The school had the radio come in and talk to us about coding and programming, and about the age of 8, I was on some radio program, Radio Lincolnshire or whatever it was at the time, about coding this game where I think it was a very basic version of Worms. And a guy at my school decided that he was going to code this thing. I think he copied it from somewhere. But you know, the radio came in. That was a really strange bit of flicking with the gears, but it kind of worked. I'll try and do a bit of a dive bomb here. Ah, missed it. We were 2 tenths up there at the top of the hill, but blew it all because I didn't get the flipping front wheels in. How much can I cut off that first Apex? I was talking about BBC-Bs and lying on the radio, wasn't I? I had to say that I'd done it. And I know this guy at school, he'd actually done it, but he was off for the day. I think he got measles or chicken pox or something, and I had to say I'd done it. And I knew he'd been lying, because there's no way in the world this dude had known how to code anything. I know he was a bit of a bookworm, but so was I back in the day. But I was the one that got on the radio, and the school won £10 for this contest. And they all went to the Lincolnshire show that year to do a presentation for the county council or something. I can't remember. It was all cheats and lies. It was all lies and thievery back when I was a kid, back in the day. That felt good, even though the time's not indicative of a good lap. That felt really good round that corner. I felt that was incredibly slow at the top of the hill, but the time doesn't say so. So let's see if we can get this right. I think I effed that up. Just a smidgen, didn't I? I didn't get the acceleration point right out that corner. Let's do it again. We're wasting time for Interlagos, I must admit we are. Can't catch that ghost, can I? My apexing through that final corner is all wrong. The old BBCB was a bit of a beast though. Had a brown keyboard, didn't it? The Acorn Electron was white and green. But saying that, the BBC and the Acorn Electron were the first computers that I played Elite on. The very original version of Elite, not this Odyssey that we get now, but it was so much harder than what it is now. It took you so long to be able to dock that ship and buy a docking computer. And once you got a docking computer, you were always getting ganked by the old Thargoids. It was Thargoids back in the day, wasn't it? They've just come back to the modern game of Elite. Oh, that's a 10th up. Oh, happy days. This looks like it's like a 16-7. Get in, you swine, get in. No, we blew that. We didn't quite tuck that in. We didn't get the approach into that bottom of that hill right, did we? Feather the throttle, you donkey. Went red. Ah. It might stay red as well, mightn't it? Considering we blew that, yeah. Now, can I stay in 5th? Down the first turn, there's a question. Can I stay in 5th round the first turn? If I just use the brakes to feather it. Ah, then we went on the Commodore Amiga, yeah. Amiga 500. I remember that bad boy, even though I didn't have one. We went Amstrad 128. We went Amstrad 128 next. That had a tape deck, and then we went. No, it was an Amstrad 64 with a tape deck, and then we went 128, which had a disk drive, the first floppy disk, but it was a hard disk. Oh, look at that! We came through that so much smoother, but a change down to 4th would have been so much better. Look at that little hug on that. Oh, now there's a plan. The Amiga 500. We were talking about that, weren't we? Before I was distracted by what I'm doing. Yeah, weren't they just? So I used to play a game on the Amiga 500 called SWAT. It was a police game. It was absolutely terrific. It was very blocky, very much squares, and the graphics were absolutely rubbish, but I remember them being brilliant, of course. It was the first kind of game that had a representation of a human figure, a human form that wasn't a stick man, and we're still probably 4 years ahead of the ZX81. Or are we after the ZX81 Atari 500? Oh, I don't know. There's a thing. I've done 20 laps at this. Feels too deep. Right, 5 more laps at this. Atari ST, yeah. Well, it wasn't that long after the old Amstrad that we then, as a family, went towards the PCs. My dad bought the first PC and we got that one. That's when we then went on to proper gaming. I'd say proper gaming. I don't think it was. Used to play a couple of good games on the old first PCs. That must have been when I was like 17, 18, because I remember coming home from work. I was working at the pork pie factory, on school holidays. Coming home I was working night shifts. I'd come home at like 8 o'clock in the morning and play computer games until midday, then I'd go to bed, and then I'd be struggling to get out of bed at 7 o'clock in the evening to go to work again for 10, because of course we'd have to go to the pub before we went to work. I was blue then, wasn't I? Oh, trying to do this without really thinking and trying to do it in my subconscious. Let me have 5 laps of this and let me get it done. No more talking about computer games. Had to lift then. Oh, look at that rubbish. Got it though, I've got that line. Missed the braking point, spat the front end out. We're doing alright, fellas. What I want to do is come across that start-finish line with like a plus 15 blue. I just let that wash up the line there, didn't I? Which wasn't great. Why can't I do that kind of corner on the laps where I am positive? My final shot, my whole shot out of here is so much better on that last lap, isn't it? I pull out a quarter of a second on myself there, that's amazing. Tenth down. Found a place to gain a little time there, so I can gain time in turn 1. I can gain time going up the hill, but I'm losing time on the final corner. Okay. I was way too slow there. I need to be higher up and not cut that apex quite so much. I'm going to try and see if I can... I felt the car grip so much on that corner there. I'm lifting the brake, that's what it is. I've got to brake more committed into that corner. I'm trying to carry too much speed. Come on. I want to go higher line through here so I don't dip down quite so much on the brake, but maybe not quite so high. You donut. We'll get that again. I'm not doing 80 laps here like we did at Goodwood. This is just for pride and props, this. Just for beating the old Big Steve. My biggest disappointment in old consoles is going back to the PlayStation 1 and turning Gran Turismo back on. Massive disappointment that was. It wasn't what my memory was. My memory of Gran Turismo was 10 times, 1,000 times better than what I saw when I turned that PS1 back on. But then I remembered the thousands of hours that I played that game. I was still a single fella back then. That was prior to me getting married. It was probably my last bachelor purchase. Little short shift there didn't help us. Now this blue time isn't against the Ghost. It's against the fastest lap this session, and I think I've just... I'm gaining on it. Happy days, top of the tree. Not top of the tree, probably at least top 10. It took me 10 more laps to get it, didn't it? It was the little squirt of the throttle at the bottom of that hill there that made the difference. And that's it. That's it, folks. Almost. It's a symmetrical number. I do like that with numbers. What's going to be my optimal? A 47,728. And I got a 47,774. There's not much in that, is there? Not much in that at all. Top 1500, that kind of sits about where my heart sits. That's kind of where I am. Top 5, friends list, happy days. We're up there with the big boys. Red's fast. Test Monkey's fast. Sam's fast. And these guys are fast as well. No denying there are some quick guys in here. It's just about having a go. And you can all try and beat me tomorrow. And I'd love to see your screenshots whilst I'm away in the PSN chat room of you beating my time. There's a challenge laid down. Thank you very much, Hugh. Thank you very much, Steve, for the tips. Now we're going to crack on and get on to Interlagos. Yeah. I'm just going to take a very quick bathroom break, and I hope you need to too. I'll be back in a second. back. Warm in here. I'm going to have to open the window. Went out for a drive in the Mini today. She's back, but she's wheel spinning everywhere. The temperature has definitely changed. Thank you, Hugh. Big Steve obviously doesn't know yet. We'll just top up the drink. Now we've emptied the barrel. Slurpee on that, and we go back in. Now this is a set car, isn't it? Again, it's a basic car. We're going to rent one. Orange one. I do like the green. I do like the green. If I was to own one, this would be what I would own. He says if I would own one. Settings, assist, traction control on one. Not sure what we're doing with that yet. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, of course, Sam Test Monkey, the Ego is there already. 34s. It's the same names, look. AK the Giant, he's there. Orange is a favourite colour. Nobody's gone green. Rapids up there, red. Faster Ollie's there. Big Popper in 9th again. Sat in the top 9 spot. Top 10. He's doing well, this Big Popper. He's pushing up the list more often than not. Who Flung Poo in 16? What is the gold time? A 1:36.209. So there we go. Benadryl is the man in 13th place. That's where we've got to get to. Up Tempo Robin. That's a great name. Slippery Bandit. Az is there, just outside the golds. Just a little push needed from Az. He's got time. Stefan's there. Phil Hoop, Uncle June, sat there just outside, just needs a little push. Itchy's there. How many friends we got on this one? Just 39. Happy days. We're going to put the old counter steer on to start with, and then we'll go and run a few laps and see what it's like. Very, very light steering. Not a lot massively coming back through the steering wheel, is there? A little lift of the throttle through there gets you in. Oh, jeez. A little lift of the throttle, massive lift required. 7th gear, not great. Going to be braking at the 100? No, we're going to be braking way before then, aren't we? Steve did say, he did say. We're all over the show. Not a bad first lap. A little lift of the throttle does pull the front end in. Are we braking on the 150 then? $150 it is, down to second. This is the worst corner of the circuit for me. Always has been, always will be. Never know how to get that one. This one you can always rob a load at this corner. First gear, that was interesting. Need to come out wide and again rob a fair chunk here as well, don't we? Ooh, back on the gas. It's a great circuit this. We don't race it enough. So I'm going to brake on the 150. I'm not checking the chat just yet. I'm going to run a couple of laps before I start to get some tips and pointers. Had to do a bit of a lift there. Well, 38.8 and I missed the braking point. It turns like an ocean liner that's forgotten to untie from the dock. Yeah, well, I think you're actually quite right. Let's see where my second lap, my first absolutely bob-on lap, puts us. Oh, in the bronze. Happy days. Quite happy with that, with the flyer. We're down in 28th. 138.8. And how far do we have to go? A 136.2. So it's got 2.5 seconds to make. We'll do that. I don't actually mind that. That's going to be relatively. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that's going to be relatively easy. I'm going to say that's going to be really quite approachable. Really quite. It feels good actually. Knowing what we've done in recent weeks, that boat of a 919 round Atlanta, then that boat of a 4x4 Porsche 904, no, Porsche Spider, wasn't it? That was a bit of a boat. And then the bit of a boat around this one. No, we want to rent one. We rented one in orange this time. Your alternative is a second off. We want the green one. We're going with the green one. Is your alt better than your real account? Well, we're going to set about this. A lot of it's about breaking points. A lot of it's about breaking points. And just remembering where they are. I think I'm going to enjoy this one. Going to brake at the 150. I appreciate I've got the counter steer on. That can come off at a certain point, can't it? Lifting the throttle ain't working. I'm going to have to use the brake pedal. We'll be good. I'm going to enjoy it, but I think I'm going to find it a challenge. I don't think I'm going to make it tonight. That lovely rear wing on that thing. I do want one of these. You see, whilst I was messing with the Nürburgring, you were all dicking about with this. You were satisfied with gold, I wasn't. Or was I the only one struggling to get the certificate? It's gone red. Why did that go red? Did I cut that first apex rather too much? Shocking. Or did I cut the pit in lane a little bit too much? I don't know why that bucked me off and gave me the red one. Bucked me off. B. Yeah, it's going to take me a few laps to get this honed in. But we're going to get another time trial on Thursday, aren't we? I hope it's something equally as good as these. These are quite fun, I think. Just going to lift the throttle a bit there. So we get the power down onto the straight more. Still got that nasty habit of cutting the apex too early. Tried a lower gear run through there, didn't really happen, did it? Gonna keep this in second this time. Went to third gear to drive it out the corner, that didn't really work either. Where's my ghost? Is it inside me? Oh, I've missed the braking point again. It's so close to the finish line, isn't it? It's so close to the finish line, that braking point. Oh, a Daytona GR1 road course. Daytona GR1 road course definitely would be good. 37,219, we got a 37,845. That's happy. We're in silver. Up to 19th. Not really coming into the friends list. The friends list really doesn't start till 10 today. Happy days. Daytona GR1. Yeah. Road course. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm wondering though what they're going to do, because we've got the World Championships again coming up, haven't we? So they've got to be revving up for something like that. What if they change the BOP? What if this Porsche does actually turn out to be the Porsche Cup, and they change the BOP? That could sort of set the cat amongst the pigeons with all sorts of things. I've got 1.2 seconds to knock off this then to get gold, and that'd be a good place to finish today. What I tried to demonstrate on the last lap, that coming out of the corner in the higher gear is actually going to be beneficial. Oh, sliding it too much there. We're not going to get it this lap. We will have to focus and go for it next lap. See what we can catch up though. I think they are going to change the BOP. My personal opinion is they're going to even things up a little bit with what they know for the World Championship coming up. Because we will have the same sort of manufacturer series, won't we? Manufacturers race and then the nations race in the World Championship. Then there'll be like an event race. Is it going to be the ambulance, or did they do the ambulance last time where they all did a race in that? Looking at the cars from this update, do you think any of those would fit a special event sort of car for the World Championship? I had to lift there. I thought I was going to shoot straight off. This is going to knock 0.3 off. Sorry to do the same old thing and not just run laps, but I've started this process, so I'm going to stick with it. How much did I knock off that time? Not a massive amount, did I? Not on the first page yet. I only moved up 2 places, look. Didn't beat it by that much. That's a bit disappointing. Yeah, the Mazda 3 GR3, GR4 probably does have to be changed. And they'll do that an official stint, won't they? Ah, wasn't there a car released in the update last time that was going to be used? Was it the GR3? Sorry, the Mazda 3 GR4. I can't say that. Don't roll off my tongue. Wasn't there a car that they put in the update last time that we were going to use? This gets a bit tedious, this saving the best lap. But I'm saving them for making a video, aren't I? That's what I'm doing. Let's see if we can knock off a fair chunk this time. It'd be nice to get and touch a 35. I'm at the point where it really is just confidence now of getting the throttle down at the right time. Got the braking points nailed, I think. Love the little flutter on the turbo. Sounds just like my Mini. Short shifting in this works as well by the feel of it. Really can rob a fair amount there, can't we? Oh, I came out there really quickly last time, didn't I? Oh, I'm only just going to beat this. It revs so high when you slam the gears that there's no noise, there's no engine noise, is there, when it's braking? The wheels don't squeal at all or anything. I think we might have blown this. Said the nun to the bishop. Oh, we're down. Yeah, the engine note definitely disappears into sort of dog hearing frequencies, doesn't it? I like the line there as it came over those curbs on the Ghost. That was nice. Lost it there. I was well ahead of the Ghost at one point, but I know where to beat it now. Red. It didn't go red. What was that? Let's get that Ghost saved. Yeah, the engine. Well, you lose the tyre squeal. The rear axle should be locking up, and I guess it's the counter steer that's keeping me straight under braking. 36,260. That's where we'd be. It's up into the 8,000. 3.32. So we're getting there. It won't have moved up that much. 15th place, just 2 places at a time. But knowing how far we were ahead halfway through that lap, I'm pretty sure a couple of laps to go. I've no idea how that didn't go red. To me, that should have been well red. I reckon I just kept the outside tyre wall, just the tyre wall inside the white line. Like I say, I think I know this circuit pretty well. I know where I'm not as fast as I need to be, and I think I've just found a line there for me to improve on. So just a couple of laps with this old routine. And I think we might get this one pretty early, but then I'm not going to push on to try and crack it. I'm going to leave it until we get back from vacation. Give myself another evening at it and see what we can do. Pretty proud of my effort so far. Oh, I just feathered the brake there to try and catch up with the Ghost on braking, and that didn't work so well, did it? Got to feather the throttle out of here to kind of keep the nose in, but you can go all the way onto the green stuff, which ain't so bad. Norman Green stuff. Now it's down here where we can make the gains. 4th gear in. That Coke's repeating on me a little bit. It's not Coke, it's our famous Pepsi. I do like our Pepsi Max. I think I need to be a third earlier there. Try and stop the car rotating will be quite so much. Same there, 3rd gear for that corner. Really hug this apex. And then we've gone red. That was well too wide. We always knew this one was going to be red, didn't we, having hit that wall? And it's all good practice. We can experiment a little bit whilst we're on a red lap. turn in at the right point there. Fourth gear in there is much quicker. And we can rob so much more on that corner. Look at the ghost there. Come out of the power there in third gear much earlier. Down to second gear to brake, third gear to come out. Oh, we're drifting. We can use that curb on the left, we know we can. Out of here in third. Yes. No, a little bit wider line. Having to lift there. Get to pretend we're the F1 safety car in this, don't we? We didn't get the ideal line there, did we? We're playing follow the safety car this lap, aren't we? Not actually doing what we need to do here. No, he's going to focus back on. We're trying to beat the ghost, not follow it. But we are learning a line. We lost all that time there. Not to worry. A little bit of a lift just going into there fixes that. There's the limit. Nice to keep that berry to go out around that corner. We know this will be red, but it's a good indicator of where we're going to be. Second gear is probably just a little bit better through that second apex. I rolled the curb there, that really upset the car. blew that corner there. Didn't really get that. Could knock 0.2 off it. That's a gold, I think. That's gold. You did say no more tips, Steve, but I didn't see that until I finished. There it is. There's the gold for now. Top 5,002. And that takes us just up to midnight, which is where I really wanted to finish. And just give a massive thank you to everybody for sticking with me. I'm going to have a few days off now. I'll be back for the weekend. And we'll go from there. So let's just have a quick setup. And just have a review. Just outside the top 10 in 12. We know that time's going to move, don't we? So I'm not going to put any more smashing efforts into that tonight. I did notice Big Steve there. He's got the fastest paint job. I do realise that. But we're on the way. Look at that. Top of the tree. In the front page. Yeah, look at that. 3 seconds. 2.7 seconds. There's some names we don't know at the top there. None of the fast guys have had a dig at this yet. Cheers, Az. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Steve. Will do. It's just a couple of days just to get the old brain flush through. Bit of week off work, come back. Oh, look, there are green cars at the top of the tree as well, look. And I don't think that was so many laps. That was, what, 12 laps to get to gold? That probably shows it's got to get a little bit harder. Mr. De Bruin, etc. They're going to have a stab at this, aren't they? They must be away somewhere. Or they've just not got to this. Can't see the big... But there's Key, 38. He's always going to be there around about. Sammy Snake, he's going to be... What's Sammy Snake's time? 1:34.852. He's a second off these boys, isn't he? But he's going to be on the front page by the looks of it. Maybe not. Thank you, Hugh. Will do. 852. He's another 10th away, and there's a lot of names there. No disrespect to be on the third page. There he is. Exactly the same as Red Samba. Look, Senna's only just above him, so he ain't that slow. Well, happy days. No, that's a really good effort. Really happy with that. We're making progress. We're moving on. As we flick out of this, we'll just have a quick scoot along the list. And that will be 5 golds. And I think I'm happy with that. 10 to midnight. It's a Monday night. For those in the US, Mr. Big Steve, it should be just about your evening meal time. Go and enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one, folks. Thank you for sticking with me. We'll see you on the next one. All the best, folks. Take care. See you Thursday night. Cheers.